press conferences every day, and you know what they do? They lie to the American people. These people are stone cold extremist liars, starting from the very top. And they haven't spoken a word of truth to the American people other than what Mike Johnson admitted today, which is that they want to rip away SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans so they can pressure Democrats to continue Republican policies that would gut the health care of the American people. No thanks. We're not going to do it. And so I appreciate people from throughout corporate America urging the Congress to pass a bipartisan spending agreement. Over the last 30 days, we've said the same thing over and over and over again. We'll sit down with Republicans anytime, any place, anywhere, in order to reopen the government and act a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people. That's been our criteria from the very beginning. A spending agreement that is bipartisan and that makes life better for everyday Americans in terms of their health, public safety, and their economic well-being, which means driving down the high cost of living in the United States of America, which Donald Trump and Republicans have made worse. Life is more expensive, and the overwhelming majority of everyday Americans know that the country is moving in the wrong direction. That's also why we're going to see the American people reject extremist Republicans and their policies on Election Day next Tuesday.
Leader Thune has indicated.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
First row, yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'll get
Thank
to
you,
next.
thank you, Mr. Leader. First, have you seen any data on how the suspension of food assistance programs may affect different parts of the country? And if so, is that at all affecting your decision, your political calculus here?
There is no political calculus for us. We are fighting this battle not for partisan reasons, but because we're trying to lift up the quality of life of the American people. And the American people understand that there's a Republican health care crisis. The American people understand that Republicans have ripped away Medicaid from 14 million people. The American people understand that Republicans enacted the largest cut to nutritional assistance in American history when they cut $186 billion from their one big ugly bill. And now Republicans have the nerve to admit before the American people that ripping away SNAP benefits from 16 million children in this country and more than 1 million veterans is a pressure tactic designed to get the Congress to continue to gut the health care of the American people. It's very interesting to me that amongst the top 5 states that will suffer from the Republican decision not to spend the emergency funds that Congress already allocated, because the Trump administration has the money to ensure that not a single person in America goes hungry. Congress already allocated that money. They're making an affirmative decision to rip SNAP benefits away from the American people as a pressure tactic. That's what Mike Johnson said earlier today, and we reject that. And Republicans are hurting their own people. Louisiana is a top 5 state that will be hurt as it relates to causing people throughout this country to go hungry.
Your former colleague in the New York State's Senate, I believe, Claudia Tenney, said earlier today that the strategy that you and Senate Minority Leader Hakeem, Chuck Schumer are implementing is part of an old Albany playbook or a corrupt Albany playbook. Do you just have any reaction to the claims of that strategy?
Over the last 6 to 8 weeks, the Democratic position has been the same. Cancel the cuts, lower the cost, save health care. Drive down the high cost of living, fix our broken health care system, and clean up corruption. And Republicans, they trot out a new conspiracy theorist each and every day. And now they've dusted one off from the state of New York. We haven't heard from her literally in years. And, I mean, it's all falling on deaf ears. Because while they change their message every week, the only thing consistent is that they lie. As Democrats, we remain consistent in our policy position. Let's reopen the government. Let's enact a bipartisan spending agreement. Let's lower the high cost of living. Let's address decisively the health care crisis that Republicans are malignantly visiting on the American people.
Leader Thune yesterday indicated there's been an uptick in bipartisan rank-and-file negotiations for ending the shutdown. Are you getting briefed or read in on those talks? What are you hearing from your Senate colleagues?
It's not clear to me that John Thune is being accurate when he reports that there's an uptick in bipartisan communication. What communications is he talking about? I think there's informal conversation taking place among some senators on the Republican side who apparently recognize the need to address the affordable health care crisis that Republicans have created, in the same way that Marjorie Taylor Greene has been very clear on the House side that there is a health care crisis, that we need to address the affordability issue, that we should extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, and that we actually need some leadership coming from Republicans in the House who've been missing in action and on vacation for 5 consecutive weeks. They're going to get paid. Some of them have been camping and then publicly bragging about it. Others apparently have been in Russia. And yet, hardworking federal employees are being asked to work without pay or being furloughed and don't know how they're going to put food on the table. And the best we can get from John Thune is that he believes there's been an uptick in conversations. These people have been missing in action over the last 30 days. It's so irresponsible that Republicans continue to insist that Democrats participate in their toxic effort to gut the health care of the American people. We're not going to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. President Trump posted on True Social late last night that he wants to resume nuclear testing and is reportedly told the Pentagon to immediately resume U.S. nuclear weapons testing. I was wondering if I can get your reaction to that and what that means for some of our adversaries like Russia and China.
Yeah, it appears that the resumption of nuclear testing would be a massive breach of international treaties that have been in place for decades. And it's just another example of Donald Trump and Republican policies going too far, being divorced from reality, and that Donald Trump and Republicans are not focused on the main thing that the American people want us in the Congress to address, which is why, as Democrats, we're going to continue to relentlessly focus on driving down the high cost of living in this country and fixing the health care system that Republicans have broken.
Yesterday and today, Senate Democrats, particularly Senator Warner, have been upset about the GOP only Senate briefing about the strikes in the Caribbean. You, as a member of the Gang of Eight, have you had any briefing or had any talks with Intel officials about it?
No Intel talk has taken place, even amongst the Gang of Eight, and certainly no information has been presented from the Trump administration or the Intel community that provides any basis for the strikes that we've seen, anchored in the law or the Constitution, off the coast of South America.
Do you believe there needs to be a briefing of the Gang of Eight?
Yes.
I wanted to ask, when was the last time you did speak to Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton? And considering the recent police report that indicated she had dementia and needed a caretaker with power of attorney, do you think she should run for re-election?
Yeah, I'm unaware of that particular report, and I haven't had a conversation with Delegate